Alright, we're now live. We're about to... And our race is about to start. The restream is about to start. Alright, we see MrGuyAverage going with the X-Wing, while phatscott goes for Curse Blurst Kirby ship. And here, so MrGuyAverage does have Moonfall on, as we see them doing a Moonwalk on, as they moonfall down the climb, which does give MrGuyAverage a slight lead over phatscott, who does not have Moonwalk it on, it appears. And it was Chozo logic that kind of forces Morphing Ball to be at its vanilla locations. So now they'll both be checking first Mosel, as that is another Chozo item. Then I mentioned they will check the ceiling E-Tank. Now that will be considered a minor item, so it'll probably just be ammo or E-Tanks, which is not considered by the logic, but E-Tanks are probably still very valuable, and can, depending on... Oh, and it's just a missile in that E-Tank, in the Great Britain Star E-Tank. MrGuyAverage successfully gets it the first try. Screw would allow for an early gauntlet check, but it was no E-Tanks or anything. That does feel like a very dangerous gambit. Yeah, that Rio is either the biggest troll or just like you get it the first try, as in my experience, and trying to get the damage boost to that ceiling E-Tank. We see MrGuyAverage using that screw attack to check the motor brain location. Is a reserve tank. This early game, that's definitely going to be helpful. Even if runners will have to take some time to fill it up. And phatscott also picks up that reserve tank. Oh, MrGuyAverage doing a very smooth and quick climb up the wall jump up the climb, as is phatscott right behind him. Now, without any supers or power bombs, we'll have to check the bomb trees to see we can gain see if bomb trees has some major item value, and it's just high jump boots. So at this point, I imagine our runners will either take a danger if they want to be high risk. They'll probably might do an early gauntlet check. Otherwise, they'll probably break through the walls on the left. Okay, MrGuyAverage is headed towards the ship. They might go for an early gauntlet. Yeah, this is phatscott. Alright, takes a couple tries, but MrGuyAverage does get the wall jump up to gauntlet. Those are not easy wall jumps, as you do have to put some delay into it. Alright, I believe that's actually something I can do on audio. Oh, yikes, that was so close for phatscott. And it's progression super missiles. Ooh, both of our runners are getting low on E. Okay, so MrGuyAverage successfully makes it out. Just phatscott. That was some close there. Oh, and MrGuyAverage finds green hills. And picks up another super missile pack from the green hills item. I do believe our runners just miss each other. Alright, phatscott gonna... As it is a great light area randomizer, we do see our transitions has been altered. So it looks like our old Turian entrance is now linked to the Green Hills entrance. Oh, and phatscott finds progression PBs. Meanwhile, MrGuyAverage finds regular old bombs. So, a bit of an interesting twist. We have each runners having their bomb progression, but having different bombs for it. So phatscott does have a slight advantage, as power bombs do open up more areas. On the other hand, MrGuyAverage does not have to worry about power bomb management. MrGuyAverage is electing not to go to pink and green Bren. So that's gonna delay them finding a power bomb. The item distribution, I believe it's like 5-3-1. Don't quote me on that. Ooh, and 230 is an ice beam. That's gonna be a small amount of damage upgrade, but more relevant, but more usefully, is that it does provide bot-to-one access, and will make the Metroid rooms in Turian go a lot faster. As we did see earlier in the earlier race, where it brought Sloters up from slightly behind to way up to the lead. Alright, phatscott's about to try this green Brinstar transition, and it leads to Red Tower. And phatscott decides they want to go back to Brinstar. Alright, and now we see MrGuyAverage doing Pink Brainstar. To get up a super missile right outside charge. And picks up Spacer Beam over in the vanilla charge location. That'll be a nice damage boost. With that Ice Spacer, that's a pretty decent beam for the early game. And interestingly, phatscott is electing to check Wavegate Room, although this is not a major item in Social Logic. Whilst MrGuyAverage does pick up Grappling Beam from Sposo. And it's just a missile in the Wavegate Room. Oh! I wonder... And there's a power... Oh! Yeah, ouch! phatscott takes an unfortunate death in leaving the Wavegate Room. And their last save was right before that early gauntlet check. Yep, and they're gonna do it. Well, considering the interceptions over in a past Terminator, they might not need to go this way. Regain the Gauntlet Supers. Meanwhile, MrGuyAverage is picking up the items in the Green Star Reserve. Picking up their logical PBs. Oh, I can hear. Oh, now I know what you mean by fireplace. It does have that snap and crinkle of a fire. Maybe he's hoping it gives him early fire exit. Alright, what's that grapple beam? MrGuyAverage is going to go for an X-ray check. Well, phatscott picks up a missile in Terminator. Maybe. It feels like I've been running, from what I've been experiencing, I keep running into people having technical issues this week when it comes to race start. And MrGuyAverage picks up Spring Ball over at X-Ray, which is probably a love it or hate it item, depending on who you ask. Because I know when I did my race, I had random my graphics card was having issues, so I was constantly having random stutters that was throwing off my game. And of course, my opponent had his own issues. Alright, phatscott's regaining their power bombs, while MrGuyAverage picks up Gravity Suit over at the Vanilla Spacer location. Well, that might push him towards Meridia, but unfortunately, Meridia does not have a lot of major chozo items. Unfortunately. Breaks the class 2 and ends up in upper north elevator. Takes the crate entrance and we meet Croc. And MrGuyAverage says, no thank you. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how Samus' sprite is rather detailed for a 16-bit game, and as chat comment notes that Samus' sprite is not mirrored, and that even just her changing directions is animated. Oh, did it miss? Oh, and MrGuyAverage picks up the charge beam over at high jump boots. So they don't have to worry about ammo quite as much. They might still want to pick up supers and power up, maybe a but otherwise they should be good here from here on out for ammo. Supers just would probably be a little bit more faster damage-wise for bosses than a charged ice phaser. Alright, phatscott has now picked up their grappling beam over at Spo. Oh, and MrGuyAverage decides to backtrack because he wants to see what these other two transitions at the bottom of Red Tower lead to, and we got the top of top of Meridia, West Meridia. Oh, that was some very skillful grapple swinging from MrGuyAverage, but he almost just missed that last one, but quickly recovers with some very skillful wall jumps there. I did not know that was even possible. And the east transition on West Meridia just leads to the bottom of Red Tower. And it looks like phatscott is just learning that the right side of Green Hills leads to the Key Hunter's room. And they heading into the moat. Let's see what's on the right side of the moat. And it's Turian. It looks like MrGuyAverage forgot that. This is dead end over in Meridia, as that transition's been adjusted to East Meridia in area Rando. Let's hope they do. From what I've been hearing from the sounds of it, it sounds like not a lot of people have been checking 230. Although understandably, bombs of some type have not been the earliest. Yep, looks like phatscott is going for 230. Looks like they're not gonna, or not. They're going down to Retro Bryn. Oh wait, I take that back again. They just remembered. Yes, Chad has said it best. No, yes. And hearing that beep from MrGuyAverage made me realize that we still have not found any E-tanks by either runners. And we're actually seeing an early shack tool tech. Now, the shack tool is a chosen item, so this is a major item check, but this is pretty a bit of a large, bit of a gamble. But it is pretty early in the game, so it might be a something. So it could, and with that gravity suit and grapple beam, this could be something that the logic is pointing towards. On the other hand, really not sure what phatscott is thinking. Oh, phatscott must be thinking a wreck ship play. Because he's done all the other transitions. So this last transition must be to the wreck ship. And they do, and phatscott does find the first E-tank in this race, so that's going to be very helpful. And phatscott finds himself on the right side of the wrecked ship. And MrGuyAverage unfortunately gets a mere E-tank out of shack tool. On one hand, not something you really want to find out of shack tool, but on the other hand, both runners are now at only one E-tank, so it's kind of like you really want that E-tank. I'm gonna have to probably say based on what I'm seeing so far, I'm gonna say that either phatscott's gonna have to be careful here because without high jump, they can easily soft lock. Okay, they made it through the water on the right side of the wreck ship. Honestly, I feel like either Croc or wreck ship here is progression. Oh, they do have high jump, okay. I wasn't sure if phatscott went and got high jump again after that death. Okay, we see MrGuyAverage doing a ice clip or 2.1. Yeah, high jump was at Bomb Teresa. Did phatscott take another safety save? Hopefully this is not a Ridley at the boss door. On the other hand, if logic is suggesting wreck ship, this is probably Phantom. And it's it's Dragon. So it's Dragon at the wreck ship. I did not catch if phatscott decides resets. Let's see if he saved or not. Yes, he did. But if he can find gravity suit over at Spazer, that is a doable fight. I mean, admittedly, it's doable without suitless because he has grapple, but the grapple jump from out of Dragon's lair is pretty precise to pull off. Not to mention that having no suits and only one E-tank and maybe one or two reserves. Eesh. I really don't think phatscott really wants to go to this other exit. That just leads him to East Meridia. Alright, we see MrGuyAverage going for Dragon's, the vanilla Dragon's lair. So we'll see who is taking up Dragon's old resting grounds. And Dragon only has Kraid. So this should be a simple fight for MrGuyAverage. Alright, and unfortunately phatscott has to leave the wrecked ship. And it's wave beam behind Craig. Alright, so now phatscott, unfortunately, taking a bit of is now having to backtrack through this water through the right side through Forgotten Highway. Well, MrGuyAverage here. Let's see. Is travel. This is returning back to the aqueducts. Looks like they're going to go for the East Meridian. And the other transition in East Meridian. Yep, so they're going to end up at the wrecked ship, and probably going to face off against Dragon. Yeah, the MrGuyAverage I totally see will do Dragon. Obviously, they have to be careful with energy, so they'll probably have to use a mix of charge shots and ammo. But at least getting out of the room should be a lot easier for them. Alright. At this point, it does feel like Croc is the progression. Although, progression at Plasma would be pretty evil. Oh, MrGuyAverage taking advantage of that screw attack to just jump straight on through Dragon. phatscott's at the top of our tower picking up their regular bombs. Oh wow, phatscott picks up their second E-tank and it was behind bombs. So they lucked out by having picking it up in Wisp power bombs. Is that now phatscott has 2 E-tanks. Ooh, things are getting dicey for MrGuyAverage. Only 3 energy, although they still have reserve. And oh, a final charge kills Dragon. We'll see what Dragon's item is. Ooh. phatscott does some nice weaving down the top of Red Tower. Without getting hit once. And it's just a reserve tank behind the Dragon. Alright, All right, phatscott is heading their way to E-Tank, to the X-ray. We'll see if they bring up Spring Ball. Oh, they're committed to it without even looking at it. How many logical E-Tanks have we found? I think it was like just one. At this point, I still feel like Croc is going to be progression here. At first, I thought it would, but either way, it does feel like both runners are being trolled, even if things have worked out so far in some ways for MrGuyAverage. Alright, looks like MrGuyAverage decides not to go to the right side, go for Forgotten Highway. He seems probably remembering that it would just lead back to criteria. Oh, and phatscott's about to pick up their gravity suit. So that's gonna make them really happy. Well, will he? Let's see if MrGuyAverage likes to check Actually, I think he will check out plasma, since he's already taking the tube. Yeah, and area rando, the right side of Aquadex instead leads to the bottom of the sand pits. Oh, and phatscott is facing off against Croc. We'll get to see what Croc is hiding. Now Croc has, I believe it's just a single item, or it might have been two. And Dragon, oh no, excuse me, Plasma Beam only has X-ray scope, unfortunately. So didn't really pay it off for MrGuyAverage there, unfortunately. Alright, looks like so Mr. Guy is gonna leave through the Forgotten Highway. Meanwhile, phatscott is gonna see what the grapple beam location has. I'm just wondering, is he gonna do bomb jumps, or is he gonna do the green gate glitch to get to the grapple beam location? It looks like phatscott is going for this green gate glitch. And doesn't quite get it after 8 shots, unfortunately. It's a bit, which is understandable because it is, I think, from that up close, it is a 1 pixel, 1 frame window. And unless you have like a semi-normalized setup or something, or a lot of practice in general, it's pretty difficult, alright. Yeah, we're going for IBJs. What do we have here, phatscott here? And it's another logical E-tank. At this point, it does feel like this seed is trolling our runners just to do a hell run. At this point, I feel like this. I'm declaring the seed is a troll that trolls you to troll you more. Alright. It looks like MrGuyAverage is going to do some hell runs. As they're now entering into Upper North Fair. Oh, they're going for the Ice Beam location. That is another major item. We'll see if the Ice Beam has something of value. Based on what I've seen, it probably should have something of interest. And it is in logic. Ooh, and taking a nice advantage of that springboard to quickly get through into the room. And there's our Varia over an Ice Beam. Let's see. Oh, we might have a high five for a shortly. Let's see. Oh no, they just miss each other. But phatscott is going to do uncheck ice and get their Varia suit. So that might. So that should help. That should help phatscott do some catch up. Although they're still behind, down 2 bosses. And hopefully they also they probably want to check high jump boots for the charge beam. Chat pointed out, MrGuyAverage does have go mode. Maybe not the most comfortable. Although probably not the most comfortable go modes. Yeah, I would have to agree with that, chat. If phatscott had gone down North Fair instead of Wreck Ship, this probably would have paid off. Put him in the lead. And the correct entrance leads to the front of Lower North Fair. And it looks like MrGuyAverage is going to go for it, doing a gravity jump. Gets it first try. Nice. Alright, now that, phatscott also has their charge stream, so they're now also in go mode. Although they don't have a weaker beam, but they do have a little bit more. No, they have the same amount, but they do have a little bit more energy, so they can take a little bit more risk. Meanwhile, we see MrGuyAverage making full use of that screw attack to get through the pillar's room. That screw attack is going to pay off, be very helpful as they make their way through the Lower North Fair. Ooh, and skillfully makes it their way through the worst room of the game. Oh, and phatscott's going to check speed booster room. I imagine they probably will want more beam damage at this point. Or maybe they're hoping for another E-tank. Oh, there's another E-tank right outside the speed booster room. Let's see if phatscott goes back for it. Does pick up another super pack inside the speed booster room. MrGuyAverage was able to successfully go through both platforms in the wastelands. Now going off against the Metal Pirates. Looks like they're gonna just super them down. Yeah, phatscott checking the wave beam room. Let's see if that has something. Let's see if that has something of interest. It does have a super missile out at the missile location, so that's gonna help make up for Scott's slightly weaker beam, although they will eventually get just some it's progression missiles. And it's a vanilla Ridley over in Lower Norfair. So MrGuyAverage doing a new route boss fight here. Meanwhile, phatscott's checking the back of, seeing where the back of Lower Norfair escape leads to, and finds the entrance to Craig's lair. So we already seen all the other bosses, so we know that. So at this point, we can deduce that Phantoon's going to be in Craig's lair. So we'll see phatscott do some ghost busting real soon here. Oof. MrGuyAverage taking some unfortunate hits. Saved by the reserve tank though. But otherwise they look like they're doing a really skillful new route Ridley fight. Alright, and they quickly able to springboard jump into Ridley's claws and see an exploding pterodactyl. And let's see what's behind Ridley. And it's plasma! Now we have over beam. And MrGuyAverage will have microwave for when they go on ghost busting. Speaking of ghost busting, it looks like phatscott's going for attempting some Doppler strats. And finishes off. And now that phatscott successfully killed off their first boss. Doubt either runner will go for through the wreck ship, as there's nothing. As at this point, there's probably going to be nothing too major. I mean, probably. I mean, you could find the space jump or speed booster, but it's probably not going to be the worst of time lost to go get them. Alright, MrGuyAverage is making their escape. Thankfully, that screw attack makes that a lot easier and safer. But looks like for a moment there, MrGuyAverage was thinking, oh, let's check Fireflies, and then remember that's not just a minor item in this run. And this Randomizer is sitting. Alright. So at this point, MrGuyAverage still does not know where Craig is, so we'll see if they are able to find that location very soon. Although considering that we'll have to consider where they'll likely pop out of, they'll probably be pretty close by it. Yep, and their exit out into the Chronic Boost room. Interestingly, phatscott is still going hunting for items and miners. They might think, feeling that their beam is too weak and need MrGuyAverage does have like 3 reserve tanks, so he can still complete the game. Although it'll be kind of awkward with only having to constantly refill, I would imagine. And unfortunately, MrGuyAverage just headed the wrong way for Kraid. I don't think... they must not remember where they have previously gone. And meanwhile, phatscott has found the back of Lower Norfair, so they're actually going to probably save some time in making their way to Ridley. Oh, are we going to see a G3? Mr. Guy, are you going to give us a G3? Oh my, oh dear. I think we might actually see a G3, fellows. This will be a big comeback for phatscott, especially since they found the back of Lower Norfair. Oh. Oh no. Did he reset? Or did he crash? Oh. I think he crashed. Oh. And that's all the way at the wrecked ship. Oh. Oh my gosh. At this point, this is no longer a troll scene, this is like a curse scene. I mean, something so similar happened to my opponent in this race, so oh my gosh. Alright, phatscott just finishes off Ridley as MrGuyAverage restarts their fight with Dragon. Alright, phatscott picks up their plasma beam. So that probably should make them feel a little bit better about their damage output. Mr. Guy does not know where Kraid is. Oh wait, he did. Oh wait, excuse me. He has killed Kraid. He does not know where Kraid's lair is. Wait, no. Kraid was at was in Dragon's over in Meridia. Oh, jeez, I feel that because this my opponent. This is like the second crash this week that I know of. Oh. It was it was one of the room transitions. I'm not sure because of the rando. I can't say which one it was. I'm not sure which one it was. Okay, so MrGuyAverage is headed towards taking advantage of the fact that they already killed Dragon to go through the back door. Likely going to take advantage of the fact that they already killed Dragon to go through the back door to face off against Great again. Or no, they're going through the Forgotten Highway. Right. Okay. So if he has already created defeated, then his main objective is getting down to lower Norfair. Okay. Yeah. My bad. Oh. Oof. phatscott attempting a springboard jump to get out of the correct escape, but it was like, nope. I'm just gonna do a grapple. phatscott, where are you going? Or he might be. Let's see. Where are you going, phatscott? He knows where Turian is. I don't think MrGuyAverage. Oh wait, no. I'm pretty sure MrGuyAverage has MrGuyAverage seen where Turian is. Alright, MrGuyAverage is gonna on their way to regaining their Vario suit. phatscott is back in Pink Brinstar. I have no idea why they are back here. Are we gonna get a a G2? I don't believe he might be a little bit lost. Yeah, that might be the best answer. Because that was a really roundabout route to the top of Red Tower. So phatscott just did one giant circle and is now backtracking. So I think they're quite lost. Meanwhile, MrGuyAverage is headed on their way towards Lower Norfair. Let's see if they stop by Craig while they're at it. Let's see if they remember Craig lair. Oh, yep. MrGuyAverage is about to go and find Craig's lair. Yeah. phatscott appears to be completely lost. Because he's... Yeah, that's the only thing I can conclude from his actions at this point. phatscott, you need to go to Meridia. Go to East Meridia. Or you can go to Rickshaw. I mean, take your pick. I'm not your parent. Alright, MrGuyAverage facing off against Phantoon. Unfortunately, they no longer have Plasma Beam, so they'll have to do it with the new ground beam. They'll probably do Missile Stress, what they did, the Missile Stress they did before. Alright, phatscott's back up the top of the red tower. Let's see where they hit. And they're going up the top of the elevator again. Or we're on the... At this point, I don't know who to say is in the lead. phatscott, where are you going? Alright, so MrGuyAverage successfully defeated Phantoon, so now all he needs to do is go back down to Lord Norfair and kill Ridley again. Now thankfully he knows where the exit to where the Lord Norfair exit is, so he can probably just go for the short route instead of having to do the lava dive again. While phatscott seems to, after getting up here to being really lost, seems to have found a way to a boss by going back all the way down to the Ritual Bryn again. And probably just going to have his rematch against Dragon. Alright. MrGuyAverage is back in Lower Norfair, making use of that screw attack coming in handy as they get past the Three Musketeers. Well, phatscott is back in the wrecked ship. Unfortunately, it's now active, so he has to be careful, much more careful with the spiky rooms. MrGuyAverage got ahead again because phatscott apparently got really lost. Alright. phatscott is preparing the room for his face-off against Dragon. While MrGuyAverage makes his way, traverses the wastelands and refaces against the Metal Pirates. I want to be a little bit careful, as he is really low on energy there, but he still has the reserves, but so he probably doesn't want to have to refarm for his fight against Ridley. But we're going to see a grapple curl from phatscott. Here we go. And phatscott says nope to that progression reserve. Alright, and phatscott's having to do a gravity jump to get out of the Dragon's lair. Meanwhile, MrGuyAverage has now restarted their fight against Ridley. Oh my gosh. Alright. Now let's see if phatscott remembers they still need to go to East Meridia and kill their final boss. MrGuyAverage did find Kraid on his second time down here. So we're apparently not going to get a G3 this round. Oh, phatscott has found East Meridia, and is headed towards Backtracking. So it looks like they're gonna face off against Kraid real soon here, after they go and do this ice clip and defeat Bolt One. I imagine MrGuyAverage will just make use of his reserve tanks to tank the Rainbow Beam. Alright. I want to mention both runners. I'm trying to remember how the resistance work. We know the Turian's on the across the moat. I kind of want to say that phatscott's a little bit closer, but depending on the way the transitions are arranged, it might actually work out better for MrGuyAverage, despite nominally being farther. It's been a very energy sparse seed so far, partly a consequence of being a Chozo setting. But we did find a lot of reserves, so MrGuyAverage can still complete the game. Alright, so both runners are now looking to head towards Turian, so it's a race. Now we have to see who makes it towards to Turian first. phatscott starting from East Meridia with MrGuyAverage in the Cathedral of Upper Norfair. So, considering that phatscott apparently probably has to go through the wreck ship, I might put MrGuyAverage in the lead. And in terms of positioning. Oh, and Mr. phatscott. Slightly forgetting that he needs speed booster to get out. Or... Oh, is he doing a reverse ice clip? Is that what phatscott doing? A reverse ice clip? I never considered that. Well, today I learned something. Alright, so MrGuyAverage has made it their back way up to criteria, so now they just need to head on to... Now they're on over in Terminator, so they need to head on all the way over to the right towards across the moat to get to Torian. phatscott is just now entering the Forgotten Highway area of the wreck ship, so they still have a bit further to go to make it towards Torian. Alright. MrGuyAverage has arrived at Torian. Miss phatscott is now at... Oh, okay. So now, phatscott is in Retrobrin, so they just need to make their way back up to the top, to the surface, and they'll be able to head on to the right and across the moat and into Torian. Alright, MrGuyAverage, he's quick going through his Metroid rooms while phatscott going back up the... Oh. Yeah, this has been a just remarkable race. You started off with MrGuyAverage in the lead. Scott, unfortunately, having some bad luck and as well as an early death. And then MrGuyAverage looks like he was going to do a G3. Unfortunately, his console crashed. And it looks like phatscott was going to regain the lead. And unfortunately, phatscott got lost. And which allowed MrGuyAverage to catch up and catch the boss they missed. Looks like phatscott tried to go for a continuous wall jump, but it didn't quite get the jump, the wall jump, but it doesn't matter because they have gravity suit. Alright, MrGuyAverage going for a refill after their family reunion with the baby Metroid. While phatscott takes their crack at the Metroid rooms. Goes through that first Metroid real quick and smoothly. We saw some nice spring ball movement from MrGuyAverage as they now prepare for the final room of Turian against Mother Brain. Looks like they're going to go for the spring ball zip clip. I'm not sure. I think that still was in close enough position for that nice spring ball clip. I guess I'm pretty sure I saw that link up moved a little bit. I will say this is remarkably close, considering how scattered this race has been. MrGuyAverage does have, I believe, 3 reserve tanks. So he has enough E-tanks to survive the rainbow beam from Mother Brain, and with that full beam combo, it's going to make real quick work of Mother Brain 2. phatscott has their family reunion, so they're going to go for an energy refill. Alright, here's our Metroid cutscene on Mr. Guy's side. Yeah, phatscott, just a few minutes behind them. Well, that's unfortunate, because I really wanted to hear their thoughts on this really cursed seed. Alright, and this whole race was just has been quite trollish, to say the least. Now, unfortunately, it looks as phatscott is now starting their Mother Brain 2 fight, but unfortunately, since they did not grab Wave Beam behind Cray, they're going to have a slightly slower Mother Brain 2 fight. I think it's just like a difference between of 20 and 24 shots. Someone can correct me on that. Well, MrGuyAverage is now Mother Brain 3 and just finished her off. So MrGuyAverage will begin their escape too, and it looks like they're showing their dominance over Mother Brain's kind of decaying corpse right before they make their escape. phatscott is starting their cutscene. I will admit, I kind of like seeing MrGuyAverage showing their dominance on Mother Brain. It was 30 shots. And its wave plasma is 24 shots. It was 30 shots, okay. We'll see what happens. Alright, since neither runner has speed booster, we'll have to do that old-fashioned climb up the wall jumps up the climb. Or as we already seen, most runners prefer to do wall jumps instead of the ledge grabs. Alright. Mr. Guy Average, electing not to save the animals, is about to go and take off on their ship, their little X-Wing. And they have finished this race with an official race time, GG time of 1 hour, 15 minutes, and 21 seconds. GG's to Mr. Guy Average as our winner of today's race. But not far behind him, we do have Flat Scott starting doing their Mother Brain 3 fight, which they very quickly wrap up with their Hyper Beam. We'll see if Flat Scott decides to save the animals, but I must say this has been one. I believe there's a few more Metroid Randomizer races tonight, Lady Nadia, if I'm pronouncing that right. But this race is definitely might be worth watching, as it's been. Ladies fun? Okay. Has been a rather curse, I would say. Started off really trolly. We've seen some unfortunate deaths from Flat Scott. And then, unfortunately, Mr. Guy Average was on his way to doing it looked like a G3. And then suffered a crash, which might have actually saved him, because that crash actually let this guy Average remember that, oh yeah, there's one more boss they needed to do. And somehow kept the lead since Flat Scott, since this is the light area rando, got lost. Which is not which I can totally understand, as I was getting lost in my head too, where everything was. In a moment here, we'll find out where those last items were here on Mr. Guy's Average screen. But until then, we do have an official time for Flat Scott of 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 38 seconds. Please send him your congratulations. Alright, item locations. Plasma. Sorry, see ice beam. Okay. Spray. Space jump and speed patrol both at the wrecked ship, which is understandable because that's like the only. I think that was. So it must have been an E-tank over at the Screw Attack location. So, well, that has been a very interesting seed and race in a more unfortunate sense of the word. Still, do give Mr. Guy Average and Flat Scott your kudos, and maybe consider giving them a follow. I have been your host, Yuzaria. Do think I beep to the boop for tracking? Go ahead and consider checking this out as well. In the meantime, I do believe we have another race here later today. Let me check the schedule for those interested. Okay, so at 7:10 Eastern Standard Time, we have Cavnastic and Glove. Will be on this channel as well. That's and then an hour later, we'll have at 8:10 Eastern Standard Time, we Sasha Boss versus a real cutie on SpeedGaming 4, and then at 10 o'clock or 10 after 10 for tonight, we have Papa Schmo and Thorto. Not sure how that's pronounced exactly. So there's definitely a few more races for those who want to watch. Remember, those times were all Eastern Standard Time, so do the appropriate time adjustments if you're in a different time zone. And until then, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all next connection.